Hello, folks. I'm Detroit Miracle. Yes, and indeed. Right now, I am here to have some cool comic book character talk. And this character will be Spawn in terms of the power levels of the cinematic live action Spawn compared to the power levels of the cartoon or comic book Spawn. I must say that I looked at some Spawn comic books and I saw the live action movie of Spawn as well. And I find that he seems a lot more powerful in the comic book stories than he ever was characterized on the big screen so far. Yeah, in a cinematic version, they tend to water down certain superheroes and supervillains by taking away their powers or diminishing it. And in that Spawn movie, even though he looked like Spawn, he didn't seem like he had the full Spawn potential and remarkability as he does in the comic books. And I was wondering, why did they water him down, water his character down, when he has a lot more powers to draw on than was shown in the films. I know some might say, but he was just starting off. So some might say he was in the beginning stages of being Spawn, so he wouldn't necessarily know how to use all of them right off the bat. Yeah, I get that, and I can understand that being a case, but like, why did it take him 5 years to go through the process of getting all of those powers, but he wasn't taught to use all of them? That doesn't make sense. Shouldn't he need like a training course to help him understand each specific hell power he has in terms of how to use it, how to operate it for whatever intended purpose? So the movie had him start off fresh and new without any instruction in terms of that. And besides the instruction, like, he really doesn't need it in the comics that much. The powers, he can do things instinctively, and of course he reacts to violence. But it's like he got, remember when Coleostro in the movie of Spawn, the live action movie, said your armor systems has trillions of intricacies or something like that. He wasn't lying. He wasn't deceiving Spawn. He wasn't over exaggerating that. He was telling the truth. So he knew that Spawn's potential was incredibly powerful, but they didn't show much of that. In fact, Coleostro could have killed Spawn at any time in that movie. So if Coleostro could have killed him just like that, then could he have really been the chosen one? Probably. In other words, Al Simmons is sort of the chosen one in his own ways, like a Neo or Anakin Skywalker were the chosen ones in regards to their own situation. So it worked like that in terms of, so if you look at Al Simmons as a chosen one or not, he certainly has a compelling tale. And in the comic books, like I mentioned earlier, he's a lot more powerful. But on the big screen, they sort of diminished him in a way as far as his power levels. But they did show him do remarkable things with his power and his armor system, nevertheless. Okay, folks, thanks for tuning in.